Hey, welcome back. So let's continue building our e-commerce website. So last time we left off on basic functionality. We have all basic functionality on front end, like customer can come, add item to cart and place order. So customer part is done. Our user can come and make the order. On backend, admin has full control over all the orders. Admin can view orders and can manage orders from this dashboard. And now what we want to add is we want to allow sellers to view their orders. So right now admin can view a whole order, and in this order if we see view orders we might get these items. So this item from seller 1, this item from seller 2. But what we want to do is we want to create a dashboard for seller, or we can create new page where seller can view their products or view their orders. Suppose as a customer I can buy one product from particular seller and another from another seller. So each seller are responsible for delivering products to the customer. So that's how multi-seller works. And for that, up to this one only admin is responsible for making orders. So you can make this like this, but in multi-seller we have to allow the sellers to view their own orders. Suppose if we log in as seller, here we are logged in as seller, and we can view our shop, and we can add product to our shop, but we cannot manage our orders. So now let's add a page where sellers can view their own orders. So what we are going to use to display the seller's order is, so in database we will not change much. Everything will be same. We have orders table where order is getting placed, and we have order items where all the items in order. So how do we display only items to the seller? By using product ID. So we can track which item belongs to particular seller from this product, because inside products we have shop ID, and in shop ID is linked with user ID, because shop contains one owner of shop will be current logged in user. So if seller 1 is logged in, only order items related to seller 1 will be displayed. So let me show you how we do that. Let's go to the seller dashboard. So this is a seller dashboard, and I have added this one link here. So if I click on this link, it will take me to another dashboard. So the basic idea here is later on we will create separate dashboard for seller, because if we try to do all these logic in Voyager, it will be quite a lot of work, and Voyager is just meant for admin panels. For seller dashboard we need to create separate dashboard. For customer it will be quite easier, and you have full control over that. In Voyager you don't have that much control. That's why I've created separate link. I will show you how I created it. First let me go to that page. So here we can see our orders, and we'll see just minimum information like shipping address, because the information that is required for delivering product is only displayed. So seller will see the order, but when seller want to view the order, seller will only see his product, whereas admin can see all the items inside order, because seller 1 is only concerned with this product, because this is the product belongs to his or her shop. That's why we are displaying this. Okay, so let's jump into code. Let's start with route. I have added this group of route. Everything else will be same. You can follow other videos if you haven't watched it. And I'm creating group with prefix seller, making auth route. This is the route, namespace seller. So I have created this controller, order controller. Let me show you that. Inside app, http controller. So here all seller related controller will be inside seller folder. That's why seller name namespace. And I'll explain this code in a moment. Let's go back to route. And here /orders is this page, seller / order, because we are using this prefix. Seller / orders is the resource route, and we are hitting index method on this page. So this is the index page. Let's go to order controller inside seller. So in index method, we are fetching orders of that seller only. So how do we do that? We are making query like this: order where has items. Let me zoom in a bit. So whereas items shop, so we are accessing the shop relationship. So items, when we access, so items is defined inside order. If we see here, this relationship is defined, belongs to many relationship. So this relationship will help us to access the products related to particular order. And inside items we have shop. So inside product we have shop relationship. So we'll access the shop, and inside shop we have user ID, and we will just check if auth ID matches with user ID. Then it will give you only the orders that belongs to, that contains the product from this seller shop. All right, so now we'll have all the orders that contains our product. That's what this query is doing. And we are just generating this index route and passing in that order, and we are just displaying minimum information about order number, status of order, grand total. Although we don't need to display this grand total for now, because this grand total, we are displaying total orders grand total. We don't need to display that now. We just need to display the grand total of only summing of all the price of only the product belongs to this order. Okay, so these are the information that we are displaying, and whenever we do view, it will display the order details. So order details inside this route. So inside show method, now we have to display the items or products in that particular order, and we have to filter out all other sellers product from that order. And we are accessing items where it has shop, and inside shop if user ID matches with this user. So all the items belonging to seller's shop. So in that particular order, we will only get items for that seller, and we are passing that, and that's just showing up. So we are not creating multiple orders for multiple sellers. We are just creating one order, and then to display sellers, we are just splitting that up according to their product. So that is the main idea. Okay, so now in sellers show, we are just displaying in bootstrap table simple name, quantity, price, name, quantity, price. Okay, so let me show you one more thing. So here we have put one button. If this order is delivered, then seller can mark as delivered. So currently it is already completed. That's why we cannot do. I have just uncommented this code just to display you. If the status is not completed, then we'll display this button whenever user hits this button, and then this order is getting marked. So that part we have to do now. I haven't coded that up. So I've just set up these views and run a query to fetch these order details. That's it. So now let's whenever user hits mark as delivered, this order should be marked as delivered. Alright, so I manually altered the status of this order. So this order is in processing state, and whenever we hit mark as delivered, what we are doing here is we are hitting this route, seller's order show. Seller's order show. So that route is defined in all resource route are defined by this index show store. Right now we don't have a store method, but this is the show method. It is displaying the product, and this is mark as delivered, this route, order delivered. And in this delivered mark as delivered, we need to do one thing, because we cannot make the order, we cannot change the order status. In order status, this order is considered as completed whenever this status is completed. But when seller does mark as delivered, we cannot make that completed, because this seller has only delivered its items, but that particular order may contain multiple items. All right, so that's why whenever we do mark as delivered, we only can make these items as delivered. So here we have to add one more column, database column, called delivered add or is delivered, one column, and then whenever seller hits mark as delivered, all the item inside that particular order we can mark as delivered. So that is the method I'm thinking of. So there might be other ways to handle all these multi order things, like displaying seller to, you can create new table, seller orders, and you can go that way, but I choose this way. Without much change, we can achieve these multi-seller displaying order to each seller. Okay, so now, so here I have just updated delivered at as now. So I haven't added this field, let's add that. So you have two options, you can add deliver is delivered or delivered at. So I find this delivered at good, because here we can store date as well, because if delivered at contains some date, we consider that as delivered. If that is null, that is not delivered. That's the way. Okay, so in order to add new column, we need to create new migration, php artisan make migration add delivered at column to order items. Table equals to order item. Let me verify the table name, order items. So let's go to newly generated migration file, add column, yeah. Table date time, All right, so we created that. Let's migrate it. Okay, so that column got added. Here we go, deliver that. Oops. Let me correct this spelling. Delivered. Yeah, it's fine, but let me quickly roll back this thing because I don't like this typo. So spelling of delivered is D-E-L-I. I want to change that. Delivered at. Why make spelling mistake, right? Now migrate. So now we should see our updated code over here. We need to refresh order items. All right, so we have now created a delivered at field. Now let's update this field. Go back to order controller inside seller folder, and here we are just getting all the items in that particular order for that seller, and then updating delivered at now. Delivered at, and we of course we need to add this on fillable, or I think let's go to order PSP. I think we are not using any fillable here. Yeah, we can make for now just check date. Guarded will not guard anything, just guarded is empty. And now we can mass update this thing. Okay, now let's try go to the seller dashboard, go to orders, and let's mark this as delivered. We cannot show the status, or we can show the status according to, yeah, we can show status. Right now we are just displaying status of the order. Okay, order mark complete. Let's go to order item. Yeah, so this order is marked as delivered at complete. Okay, so here item count, we are displaying all items count, item count of order, but this item may contain the item from other seller. So how to display the item for this particular seller? So we can add subqueries. So we have these orders, we get all orders, and now use the subquery add select, and then we'll use item count, and then access the order item, select row. So we'll count everything in this order items. So by the way, I've just run PHP artisan order item. So you can see on terminal over here. Let me make it a big. So this model will handle the pivot table, this order items pivot table. So it was not there before, and now we have this model will control that. And now we'll use this order item, select everything and count them. So we'll join both of these orders and order item by order ID, because in order items table we have order ID. And now we scope that to this particular seller only. Okay, so if we die dump this, let's die dump, let's refresh, we will see one of our order with attribute all the order related value, but here you can see new field item count. So this order only got one item for this seller. All right. So currently we are overwriting existing item count. So if we see here, so here is also item count, but for this order item count is 2. We are just overwriting. Let's change that y to our item count seller. Let's make that. And now if we see, let me zoom in a bit. So we have item count 2. So this order contains 2 product, but we see item count seller. So for seller it got only 1. So let's use that in our blade file instead of item count seller, because this file we are just showing for seller. This page, okay, everything looks cool. So our one problem here is order status. So this status is the status of the order, but for seller doesn't have to worry about what the status of the order that customer placed. Seller is only concerned about his order. All right, so we have to just we don't need to show this status of the order that customer placed. So how to change the status? Okay, so I think we cannot use subqueries in this case. So what I will do is we'll map through this and insert one new field like seller status or seller order status. And how do we decide that seller order status? By this delivered at. So if all item for the seller delivered at is not null, that means that seller has delivered all of his product and will make the status of order completed. So that's the idea. And now we can map through it and insert one new field. All right, so here I have written a map function to insert one new entry into our collection. So this is how you insert new attribute inside your collection. So let's see this in action. So we map through these item and we added this and we returned item. Now let's item this order. Let's go to here and we can let's refresh it. Let's view the attribute, and here we can see our seller order status, our custom status pro. So we are inserting our custom field there, and now we need to write logic here. So we have this item means order. Let's rename it so that it will be easier to understand instead of this general term item. So here what we'll do is let's first write logic. Order status. Okay, so here I have written logic. We initialize this order status as processing, and if order items, so we'll check if there are any of items that are not delivered, and were not delivered, then it will, if all the items, so here we need to add one more scoping thing for this particular customer, so we can copy that out from here. So I think we are repeating quite a bit, so we can extract one method. For now it's okay. So here, if this seller's item, we'll add one more. So undelivered items. So these are the undelivered items where null delivered at count. All right, so these are undelivered item, and we'll check like this. Undelivered items. If undelivered items are 0, meaning this order status is completed. All right. Okay, so that's logic. So we'll initialize this processing by default, and we'll check if there are any undelivered items. So we are checking order items, whereas for this seller, so I think we can create one scope for that, because this logic is repeating. So where null delivered at, meaning that is not delivered. These are undelivered items. So if there are no undelivered item, then the order status is completed, and then we are passing that in. Okay, so now let's go ahead and go to index.php, and instead of displaying order status, we can display seller order status, like so. So like this. Let's go to browser and reload. We should see, yeah, order is completed because everything is delivered. Suppose let's make this null. Set null. Is this nullable? Yeah, Control Shift M for null. Now we should see processing, and we can mark it as delivered, completed. Perfect. And we're displaying item count, displaying order. All right, so I think we are done with order management for seller. If we place any new order, seller can see the order here and view the order details, make this order completed. Yeah, so that's pretty basic. You can use your imagination and add up on this. You can make it quite functional according to your client's need. So yeah, so we'll continue this next. I'll see you on next video. Bye.